Well, hello there, guys. Today we're going to be taking a look at Endzone 2. Now, I want to be very clear with you guys. This game is still in early access, or a beta version even. So what we're seeing here is not a finished product or anything like that. That being said, I want to start this video off by asking everybody to please like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. And if you really enjoy the content on the Agrippa Maxenius channel, consider clicking the join button or the thanks button. It really helps us out. And currently, I'm actually trying to build an app based on this historical channel. I don't want to give too much information, but I definitely need some funds to get it going. So any cent and click and like, etc. really helps. That being said, let's jump into Endzone 2 and see what it's all about. We loved Endzone 1. I want to see what this is like. Now, we are going to start with survival mode. We've already done the tutorial here, so we essentially know what we're doing. I want to see exactly what the game has to offer.
They will be sufficient for a while, but sooner or later, we have
All
found
right, guys. Well, so what we're going to be doing here is we need to locate a new zone. Now, the game makes it somewhat easy for you, where it'll actually tell you where to start. If we click here in new home, but I'm looking over here, and the reason I'm liking this area is we've got some water. Water is an essential component of this game, and not to mention we've also got some copper fields nearby. We've got some scrap, etc. We've also got some trees. Is it the perfect location? No, not really, but we can come back later and we can change that. As you can see, our existing actual vehicle has quite a few resources already. So what we really want to do is just get to the habitable zone and, of course, drop off our settlers and begin the settlement. There's going to be a lot of these ruins around. This is, of course, representing a world after a sort of a nuclear apocalypse. And so we've got to keep that in mind. I'm going to go ahead and build the new settlement right about there. Yeah, let's build that new settlement. And as you can see, we now have a wonderful little area here to build the town center. I don't want the damn tutorial guide, but I guess we maybe don't have an option.
Engine running.
So here we go. Let's build that new settlement.
Now we need a place where we want to build our town center.
And I'm actually going to put the town center right about here. The green represents areas where we can actually grow crops over time. And of course, the blue represents where we can get fish and water. And let me tell you, water is extremely important in this game. So we want to focus on that as soon as possible. Let's go over here. Let's get the jetty. The jetty is going to be like the most straightforward way to get water. Of course, if you want, you could like flip this thing around. It's pretty much up to you. So if we just click the rotate button, as you can see, that gets rotated pretty quickly. I kind of want something that's a bit close to the town center. So I'm going to put the jetty out there. And over here, we're going to make sure that we have some water carriers. So we want to make sure that we've got some water carriers that can actually go and extract the water and bring it back to base. The other thing we are definitely going to be needing is a forager's hut. This is, of course, just an area to get food. And as you can see, depending on where you put this, it's going to tell you, like, the best area to get food. If we put it, like, all the way over here, we're not going to get absolutely anything. So let's put one kind of, like, right here. And that is going to be another very important element here. Of course, once again, just like the water carriers, we're going to need some foragers. So I'm going to do, like, 2 each. Of course, it's totally up to you. And if we zoom in, we can actually see our people heading towards the forager's hut. Pretty cool, and they're going to start building it. We've got the jetty up already, so that's a pretty good start. To get new settlers, though, there's something that we really need, and that is going to be, of course, houses, you know, basically homes. But before we do that, I want to get some woodcutters here. It's going to be another very important resource. And the other important resource, well, there's a bunch of important resources in this game, let's be clear, but the recycler is huge. So the recycler, of course, will take any existing scrap and recycle it pretty much, or turn it into bottles. Before we do that, we actually do need a scrap yard. My apologies. And as you can see, the scrap is represented by that sort of blue color there. So let's do that. Let's get some scrap up and running. You can see our settlement is already beginning to take shape, which I think is absolutely awesome. But of course, you always got to remember, get some lumberjacks, get some salvagers, and you want to keep a look up here on your actual resource panel to make sure that you are creating all of this stuff. Otherwise, you're going to be in a bit of trouble. Like I said, that recycler is going to be important, and it's best if we keep it near the location of the scrap. So I'm going to put the recycler like right there, and we'll make sure that we have some recyclers as well. Now, here's the thing, though, in the game, right, is that over time, there are going to be radioactive storms that are going to pass through. Some may not be as common as others, but it's going to happen eventually. There's no way around it, and you're going to want charcoal. It's going to be a very important element of being able to get radiation suits up. It's a long process, but charcoal is necessary to basically create the radiation suits to reduce the amount of people that will die from said radiation. And for that, we actually need a coal kiln, but we're not quite there yet. Right now, I want to focus on getting that workshop up, and just like the previous building, we kind of want it near the scrap if possible. Now, the game is pretty intuitive, so you don't necessarily need it near the scrap. Like, it'll still do its job, but of course, it's a lot easier if it is near the scrap, if that makes any sense. You can already see our people running to and fro, but what I really want to do is I want to start getting some homes up. And over time, you can increase the quality of your homes. As you can see there, we also have a determiner of how happy people are in this area with these homes. You want to try not to build your homes over existing resources like this area here, which we're eventually going to be turning into a farm. Now, it just let us know that there are not enough building materials, and what we need are tools, and that's actually what we're currently getting right now out of some of the buildings. But, of course, that takes time. So let's just go back to Toolmaker here. Maybe we add another Toolmaker. Why not? There we go, starting to get those tools, and slowly but surely these new homes will be built. Now, the cool thing is, as long as you have homes, look at that, we got our first little caravan home. As long as you've got these homes, children will start being born. However, as children, they can't actually be laborers. I know, what a shame, right? But nonetheless, they will start creating children, and over time, they will grow up into, of course, proper adults, which can be turned into workers. I'm pretty sure we've got the necessary construction for that. Let's just make sure. Yeah, we do want to start getting coal. That's going to be important very, very soon. Let's see over here. So the other thing is just material depots. And I want to make sure we've got enough trees, because that is taking a little longer. We might want to get another forester out there. But for now, let's just get material depots. So we'll put one like right there. As for the food depot, we'll put one like right over here near our forager. And as for the cistern, aka the water depot, we're going to want to put it right over here. And I might actually want to get another jetty, because like I said, getting water is not easy. It's tough. It's going to be very, very important as this thing gets larger and larger. As you can see, lack of storage capacity. Production cannot be continued because the storage capacity at the settlement is insufficient, and that's why we want to get these buildings up. Now, we are going at the highest game speed possible, and you can see that those the scrap, everything else is increasing. Plastic is increasing. Tools are increasing. So sooner rather than later, we will be able to get that jetty up and running. And you can see there, look at that output. It is giving us continuous output, but since we don't have the cistern yet, we have to wait until that cistern's built to get additional water. It's that simple. Let's see what we need for that cistern. We need more wood, and we need more scrap. I think we're doing pretty good on both, but again, if we want to increase that, well, all we need to do is increase the number of lumberjacks. We still have available workers, and we will increase the number of recyclers and salvagers. Again, we're up to about 3 workers there. Maybe some water carriers. No, we're fine on water carriers. Let's add another lumberjack. Not too shabby. Let's just take a look here. Now, this is the name of the outpost is the Arcadia Outpost, but you can change this however you want. You can add your own symbol. You can add your own settlement color. So if you're going for a sort of more post-apocalyptic settlement, maybe you get like a dark red. and apply there. Arcadia Outpost. Only the most dangerous need apply. Now, again, I mentioned before, coal is huge, right? Coal is a big, big thing. So we want to try and get coal, a coal kiln up and running quickly. So let's get that up and running. I'll put it like right over there. Not exactly the greatest spot for it, but then again, what is? So there we go. Boom. We're going to get the water cistern up and running. Now, one of the elements of the game that I think really separates it from a lot of like post-apocalyptic style games, and that I think is just absolutely awesome, is the fact that you can always use your Pathfinder to go out and you can explore the rest of the world. And here's the thing. You don't just explore the world in terms of like looting ruins for resources, which is pretty cool on its own, but you can loot actual ruins for knowledge. So you go here and a little like sort of mini game will begin where you have to send in an explorer, and the explorer will start to loot the ruin for knowledge. Now, not every single ruin has knowledge. As you can see, some just have scrap, water, etc. But again, that's still pretty cool. You do want to try and look for ruins with knowledge. An example would be like a car store, you know, because it'll give you some information on cars. And once you actually get the car going, or once you get the knowledge, you can actually start going into knowledge points here, including basic research of, you know, brickworks, the clay pit, vulcanizers, material depots, or you can focus on a swamp farm. So let's say you're in like a really, really bad area with few resources, you could still get a farm up and running, as well as additional protective material. So let's take a look here. I think this one, again, this is just going to be a basic looter. Yeah. But again, we're still getting like a lot of resources from these places. I'm just looking, I'm trying to find a place that has knowledge specifically. And sometimes you can search for quite a while before you find a place with knowledge. There we go. That's what I'm talking about, baby. And as you can see, special booty, and it's going to have some knowledge. So I'm going to go ahead, right click on it.
We have found a new zone. Take a look at it when you get a chance.
And they are talking about finding a new zone, and look at that. You can always move to a new and better area, and that's looking really, really nice. But I want to show you guys the actual exploration element here. So we're going to start the expedition, and look at how cool this is. So we actually have an explorer. It's just so cool, man.
The best would be if we try to lower the car lift somehow. Let's go.
All right, now don't get your hopes up, because different things can affect whether or not you can actually finish some of these jobs. Sometimes you lack a certain resource that you need to come back to this area with to be able to get something to work. So in this case, like a generator to be able to get the car lift to work.
Lived here for a spell too.
But just look at that. We're getting additional resources, rubber, that we haven't even found before. We've got a blowtorch, we've got a lockpick. These are all going to be useful later to unlock other expedition areas.
But whoever fixed up their cars here lived here for a spell too.
So you would think, right, like that the first thing you need to go over here to lower the car.
This control unit,
but look at that. We need a generator for that. So we would need to actually come back, return here with a generator, or we would need to find an existing generator on the territory we're in. So let's just keep on taking a look here. We might be able to find one, but I suspect we're probably going to have to go back and find it. And there we go. We just received a knowledge point. It's going to be extremely important later in the game. However, I'll be honest with you, we would receive more knowledge points if we could get that vehicle down. Quite a few more knowledge points. So that's why you need to keep coming back to these locations to sort of improve your research. It also lets you know the total progress, letting you know that there's still things that need to be found in this particular area. For now, we're simply going to end that expedition. Again, we're still coming out with some pretty cool stuff. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to start it again.
There's a converted buggy standing in this garage.
Cool thing, of course, is we simply end that expedition. Boom. New instructions. And we can bring this buggy back, bring it back to the actual settlement that we've already got going. Or we can go to the new settlement. But of course, I want to go back to our old settlement, keep on building that up. And we need to get the protective suits. That's going to be very, very important pretty soon here. Let's see here. Make sure we have enough living. Nope, we need more living space, aka we need more homes. So let's go. Boom. Another thing you can do, there is a road system. I know I didn't mention it yet, but the road system makes it a lot easier for your folks to travel, you know, from their homes or from their workplaces to the main town center. This, of course, makes things run a lot faster. So I definitely recommend getting those roads up and running. And, of course, those of you that are especially good at these kind of games, like sort of city builders, I guess you'd call them, or post-apocalyptic city builders, you're going to know what I'm talking about. You can really, like, micromanage this to a pretty dramatic level. And over time, like I said, back with the research, you can make better roads. You don't need to be stuck with, like, the absolute worst roads. I'm actually going to unlock that additional research. We need to get additional scrap, but I would definitely focus on clay. It's going to be another element that's very, very important in getting protective clothing and things like that. And, of course, in smelting. Eventually, we're going to want to smelt better stuff. And as you can see here, we've got all sorts of different things we can currently get. Recyclers, a recycling center, and this is just like a small touch of the things we get. Once we unlock additional skills, we're gonna get additional building options. This is just like the very, very basics, as you can imagine. Nonetheless, I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I hope it gives you an idea of kind of what the game has to offer. The only thing we didn't go over is the rad protection element, and for that, we actually need to get an additional building up, and I believe it's the tailor's workshop right over here. It's just the first of many. Pardon me, radiation. It's just the first of many radiation protection building centers, if that makes sense. And just like every single one of the other buildings, you want to get some charcoal burners and you want to get some tailors for the rad protection. And look at that, our first child, soon to grow into an adult in this post-apocalyptic wasteland. You gotta love it. It's tragic, but it's the facts. Like I said, if you like these post-apocalyptic games, man, I think that this game is going to have a really, really nice release. I think it's going to be a fascinating one. And again, plantation, I don't want to get carried away because I'll just keep playing, but you know, we can get a plantation up like right there, and we can expand that plantation. First we need to build it, but then we'll be able to actually draw, like, essentially how much we want covered. This entire area is untouched by radiation. We already have workers headed towards the plantation. He does not seem very happy. But over time, like I said, you're going to get this up and running, and you're going to start getting these storms. And these storms are going to be radioactive storms. And for that, you're absolutely going to need protection. Well, that's just the very start of the game. Again, if you want to see some more videos about Endzone 2, make sure to let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to do a full stream of this and just see how far we can get, how many settlements we can get. But the idea really is to just rebuild a destroyed world. Thank you so much, guys. Take care. Have a great one. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I love you all.